My name is Justin Jocson. What made me dive into the culinary arts scene? My high school teacher had a high school program for culinary arts, and he invited me to join, and so I did, and learned there that I was pretty good at cooking. And so being able to mix good cooking skills with my creativity in life made me want to keep going with this passion, and I'm loving it so far. The role that food played in my family was, I saw it as a big love language. It's a way of giving thanks to people, even like the smallest little things. My parents would bring like a foil tray of pancit and some ube cookies or something like that. Or even like at my grade 3 birthday, my parents would ask to bring a box of donuts to class, and because of that, I'm just going to keep that running for my whole life, making sure that food very much is able to give thanks, give a sense of, you've done so much for me. This is what I love to give back to you as a gift, in a sense. I have a specific memory for food that plays a role in my cooking right now. I remember I was eating dinner with my family, and at the time, it was really young. I was really picky, and I had a plate with rice, and I guess it was sinigang, British sinigang. And I was, like I said, really picky. I think this is like my first time discovering this, this type of dish. So sour, I got through the good stuff, like the proteins, the vegetables, but I couldn't finish the rice. And I just remember just spreading it out and making it look like it was small. It didn't work, and so because of that, that's kind of influencing my ways of cooking nowadays, that I want to be able to create plates and dishes that they will be able to finish and at the same time, come back for more. So at this stage of my life, entering the industry is, for me, super exciting, really inspiring, motivating, just because I have so much to learn. I have so much things to just keep doing. And so working under chefs that know so much more than me right now, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to me, because just like they know so much more I don't. And so I'm just trying to observe as much as I can, even without like the head chefs, even like the coworkers that's been working longer than me. And I think that's a beautiful thing right now for us chefs who's trying to improve on that matters. We're free. We can be ourselves in the kitchen rather than super strict. This is harsh. I don't want to make a mistake because I'm scared to make a mistake. But nowadays, if I make a mistake, it's okay. The role I see myself in this journey is being able to, be the backbone of that and support the chefs that actually do have a platform to stand on. Because, like I said, I'm still pretty young and not much I could do. But I believe I could also try. I think if we were to explain the terms and stories behind certain ingredients that's on a menu, I think that's a great way to get people more accustomed. Not to sound very cliche, but one major goal I would want to achieve in my career is to open a restaurant or some sort of cafe. I think a cafe would also be cool. I love matcha, I love coffee. But being able to represent myself in drinks and food to other people and having them wanting to come back is very much a big goal for me. And hopefully one day I can make that happen. I just, gotta keep learning, gotta keep going, and one day, hopefully, knock on wood. So what I'll be bringing to the table is a sinigang salad inspired by my mom. I actually named the dish Mom, Look, because she very much believes that I don't know how to cook Filipino food. And so I'm gonna make this dish for her, and I'm gonna say, Mom, look, it's sinigang. Another inspiration from this dish, try to show as much as me into this plate as possible. And that would include, not being able to learn the culture as much as I can and trying to use the same techniques that I learned throughout my career into this dish. And I guess let's get started here. So on the table, I have my mise en place. To start for the sinigang, we'll start with the onions, followed up with the garlic and chilies. And then we're gonna saute some aromatics, bay leaf and peppercorn. And then as that is sauteing, add in our fish sauce and some tamarind paste. To make this a proper salad, added a bunch of elements that will complement the sinigang and make the whole bowl taste like you're having another bowl of sinigang. Right here we have some squash kombucha that is wrapped in banana leaves and baked. Over here, this tomato curry will also go with the sinigang. But over here, I have a persimmon. I wanted to add a fresh element into the dish, and so I chose the persimmon. Persimmon is pretty ripe in this season right now, currently, and I chose it as a really good fruit to be nice present on the salad. Next, we have some cherry tomatoes that I will be dressing in a pinasukrat olive oil vinaigrette. Then to add some more freshness, I have some green leafy greens. And then I'll be adding another component, achara, just a pickled vegetable. But this time I'll do it with a guava and some onion. So the next element in my dish, the soup is really acidic, really sour, but I also wanted to add another acidic component to it, not just the soup. So I'll be pickling this guava, as mentioned with the quick pickle liquid. I want to slice. I'm gonna go in a half here. We're gonna go in half here again. I'm gonna cut these seeds off because I don't want them. So I found that guava is a pretty nice ingredient in our cuisine. I found that it grows pretty nicely in the Philippines, and so I wanted to include an element from there, or like not Philippines specifically, but like from Southeast Asia. And so I think it would be a pretty nice way to add into a dish, especially if I pickle it. It'll be nice and acidic, and I think with this crunchy texture, acidic flavor, I think it'll be a really nice component in my dish. Okay, boom, boom, boom. All right, now that that's nice and julienne, I guess should have not. We'll be putting this in the bowl. So with the pickle, I'm gonna add it quickly into the julienne guava. I'm just gonna add the whole thing because why not? Let this steep. In the meantime, keep it on the side for now. All right, so while this is still going, I'm gonna get a boiling pot of water here. I'm gonna season it with some salt. Make it taste like the sea. To blanch my cherry tomatoes, which I will show in a second as it boils. Give this guy a little stir. And I will also give it a taste. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Immediately from the taste, super, mouth puckering, super tangy, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm gonna let this go for another 5 minutes, and then after 5 minutes, I'm gonna strain out the pot, and it'll be ready to go. Just real quick, I'm gonna add my aromatics, dried bay leaf, peppercorn, staples in a Filipino household. Yeah. So I wanted to add a fruit element into this. It'll bring a lot more brighter taste to the whole dish, and so I chose a persimmon. Take off the leaves first. I'm gonna cut the top and bottom off. With a persimmon, you can tell if it's ripe when there's a nice little squish to it. I can see this one is still pretty hard. So it's a little, almost there. The color is there, nice and bright. So I'm gonna attempt to take the skin off in one go with my turning knife. Nice and easy. One way. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Nope. Oh, oh. And boom. Just shake off the couple nuts off. Just to show it off. Is a pretty nice. When you're making sinigang, I was told by my girlfriend, you want the soup to be orange. I think I pretty much achieved it here. Pretty nice. At this point in time, I will be straining this right now. Gonna let this strain, get all that liquid out. Liquid gold, I guess. Put it to the side. So when I'm cutting vegetables for a salad, I wanna make sure that one, it's not too big, and two, it's not too small. That way we get a nice perfect size in each bite, and it's able to be present in each bite. Does that make sense? So first, we're just gonna go in half. Nice little persimmon. So as you can see here, that's the ripeness of the color you want, the entire persimmon. In this case, it's okay. I'm thinking, I'm not gonna keep this so uniform. I like my salads to be a little rustic looking. It brings a more easiness to it, knowing that, you know, it's just made from love. So, I'm just gonna diagonally chop here, chop there, chop there. See, pieces like these, they're really good on its own. But in a salad, they're pretty big. And pieces like this, I think this looks a lot more rustic and beautiful. So I'm just gonna continue chopping here. And we'll leave that to plating. So now that our water is boiling, a technique that I learned in my kitchen, we're gonna blanch these tomatoes for 15 to 20 seconds, just enough to take off the skin of the cherry tomato, but not too long to cook the tomato. So I'm just gonna have my tools ready real quick. Right after the blanch, we're gonna ice bath it straight in. I have my colander here, I have my ice bath, boiling water. It's gonna go tomato, boom, boom, straight in to the ice bath. So I'm just gonna put this here. Tomato's gonna go in. Give it a little shake, like stir around. 15. Okay, I count in my head, but you can tell if you could easily peel it off. So as you can see, I literally like barely touched it and it's peeling off. So straight into the ice bath. Because we don't want the tomato to cook. Blanching also shocks the skin, making it easier to peel off. My turning knife. We're gonna peel the cherry tomato, revealing a beautiful plumpy tomato. I chose cherry tomatoes specifically because when you peel them, they look like a grape, and it's really nice on a plate. And also the fact that it is a very much sour bomb, acidity bomb, and this whole dish pretty much an acidity bomb. Doing this in the restaurant, when I have, like, we had a dish doing this, and each dish had 3 of these, and doing them like to order was just hell. It was hell. Like, you had like 10 bills, like you're plating 10 other things, and then all of a sudden, oh, I forgot the tomatoes. You gotta peel them, and you're like, oh, you know, it hurts. But it does present a really nice aesthetic on the plate, which I believe. But this is my finished soup. No, it's not this, but it's the liquid that I want right under it. Right there. I'm gonna put this in. This right here is where all the flavor, sourness, tanginess, all the memories in this bowl right here. Cool. One of the techniques that I learned in a restaurant is that they use what's called pre-high to make a sauce turn less liquidy and more thick in a sense. So right here, I have xanthan gum and water. Specifically 2% of the water's weight blended into the xanthan gum. And you would want to blend the xanthan gum into the liquid, 2% of this into there. But we don't have a blender, so I'm gonna attempt to see how this turns out. This is a technique used to thicken sauces without heating it up. And it's a really great way to do so, as it doesn't disturb the flavor and it only disturbs the viscosity of the liquid. So what I'm gonna do is whisk it. We're gonna take some of it here. I'm gonna add roughly 2% of this weight of the pre-high into there. And let's just see how this turns out. I'm just gonna whisk it. So what I believe, when you're working with xanthan gum, you always want to blend it in, as that incorporates air into the mixture, resulting in activating the xanthan gum. As we look here, side by side comparison, this one's the xanthan gum one. This is straight by itself. And so, as you can see, immediately from the drips, a lot more viscous, looks like a syrup in a sense, a lot more saucy, as compared to the liquid or the soup that just came out. Very thin, falls straight into the bowl and doesn't hold. Again, this is exactly what I wanted. A sauce that could be easily poured and wouldn't fall out of the dish too easily. So we're gonna start plating. I have here my squash that was baked in banana leaves. So like I said earlier, it does have a nice banana essence to it. I'm gonna dress it or season the squash in a vinaigrette dressing that was mentioned earlier. Let's seed it up. Nice. Let's give it a little mixy mix. Okay, and then I'm just gonna start. We'll do nice amount of pieces here. Do 2 each on each station. Whenever I've been plating, I always like to go odd numbers. That's what I learned in school. And I also agree that even number looking type of foods or plates do seem a little bit off sometimes. So when you add in just an extra element, or just one more to make it 3. Now we're gonna grab our leafy greens. I wanted to add a nice leaf, green texture. I'm just gonna tear it up a bit. Don't want too big of a random leaf in the salad here. And then I'm gonna fill in the holes here. There. Another right there. Keep going here. Into the hole. Just gonna keep a nice little circle here and the center empty for now. I can just do it by itself, so I'm just gonna season it with a little bit of salt here. Sweet and umami. Sweet and salty. And then I'm just gonna go back in this. And then just gonna go a couple of pieces on there. Maybe 7 or 5. Let's see. Oh, that fell off.
Any type of fresh fruit on a salad always makes the stomach happy. Next up, we have our tomatoes. Now that they're peeled, whatever I dress these in will soak up and make it taste a lot more beautiful. Instead of seasoning with the vinaigrette, which I was planning to, I'm going to season it in the coulis. So just from here, top it off, basically glazing the tomatoes. And then each tomato here, just gonna put them in between. Nice little wreath. Over there,
I believe Canada is very much ready for Filipino cuisine to step up. There's been lots of other cuisines also on the come up as well, but I feel like Filipino is on its way. So slow and steady, but it's gonna make its mark. We already have ingredients like ube and pandan, showing in like certain little shops here and there. But I think once we get to a point where we're able to show off Filipino dishes in like a small shop or restaurant or so, I think that's when we're gonna rock it. We're gonna boom. My advice for emerging chefs that were Filipino Canadians, pretty much is to take it slow. And staying educated is the very most important thing, I believe. Try to absorb as much knowledge as you can from chefs, and also, from your mom and dad, from your titos and titas, from other Filipino friends that you have in this country. As much as you can from them is, in my opinion, enough to represent the culture.